It's getting popular.
Somebody said Billie Eilish said something racist too. Being out in Ireland was like, oh, I can't believe
she was like, I'm glad to
be in a space where everybody looks like me.
Sister, you're from California.
Exactly. And she feel comfortable not there.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so yes, Black people are forever. All right. And
all right, Remick. Her Remick ass.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Remick, sir, is it because we're...
Remick had me dying.
No, she really liked Remick too.
I believe in equality.
Well, welcome back to the Fates of Black podcast, y'all. I'm your host, Sunflower B. Rose. And we got Imani Johnson in the building. We got David Dunnington in the building. And today we are joined by Hot House of Bree. Brianna, would y'all like to introduce yourselves?
Hey, I'm Brianna Wright, longtime friend of Brianna Byrdsong and Imani and Sunny. So just happy to be here and talk about this wonderful movie.
Word.
I'm Brianna Byrdsong. I'm going to piggyback off of Brianna's intro. And Sinners made me knock off something in my Letterboxd top 4. So I'm happy to be here.
Wow.
As well.
Amazing. Can't wait to have y'all in this conversation. And yes, we are talking about Ryan Coogler's 2025 film, Sinners.
You ain't safe here. No matter how many guns or how much money, they gon' take it from you when they want.
Now we is one people, and we shouldn't go in barging into other folks' places uninvited, so...
They vampires.
Alright, y'all niggas gonna pay for this shit. Locking this pimpin' in the closet. Huh?
I heard you loud and clear, but then you stuck your tongue in my coos and fucked me so hard I figured you changed your mind.
Hey, listen, I got money, huh?
Okay, so we usually start this podcast off asking if you were in a bar talking to a homie who has never seen this film, how would you describe it? Brianna, David, anybody want to go first?
Off the dome, a vampire period piece about Black people getting free spiritually and through their gifts. And it's amazing and beautiful.
Yes.
I'd agree with
David,
that. I'd go see
Brianna. That. I know. I'm like truly succinct.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah. I would describe it as like a horror musical as the theater person in the room. That's a musical to me. So a horror musical, including those themes.
The bet, like comparing it to a movie, it's crazy how much it is. Like, have you ever seen the movie From Dusk Till Dawn?
Yes.
No.
And the way it's two brothers. They're a little freakier. I don't really like them that much.
So sucking, yes.
But
I mean, these some freaky brothers too.
Okay, but that was like fun freaky, not like...
I haven't seen the other one, so I don't know.
He really trying to get her feet in his mouth. So
yeah,
not in a good way.
Yeah. Quite
depends on who you ask.
Right.
And anyway, but it is like it's like a Black From Dusk Till Dawn.
Yes.
Better.
It's better. It's absolutely better. Like 1,000%.
For sure. Does anyone want to give us like a quick rundown of the plot? Spoilers friendly. Well, no, I guess spoilers unfriendly.
Yeah, spoilers ahead. I got you. 1932, identical twins Smoke and Stack have just now returned to Mississippi after spending years in Chicago working for Al Capone. They was also in World War One, and they're bringing back a bunch of money and they're trying to find ownership for themselves. So they buy out what they think is like a mill, but is really known as like a slaughterhouse. They buy it from like former Klan members, and they're about to turn this whole thing. Active Klan members who are disguising themselves as just racist white people not attached to any organized institution. But they buy the mill, they buy the slaughterhouse, they turn it into a juke joint. They have to like go back and find all their old contacts, like the Charles, to like get some catfish. They call on like Smoke's old girl Annie, mother of his never to be child, to come and like cook and bring people in. And then, they throw a party, they get security, they get music. Their little cousin Sammy is coming, who is like a preacher's boy. And Sammy's daddy really wants him to preach on Sunday, but he also tells him, if you go out and play that music for the devil, you're going to bring him back with you. And therefore you cannot come back in his church. But he don't really tell him that because he let him back in the church. Anyway, and so, Black people setting themselves up to have a good time. And somewhere off in the distance, a man falls from the sky, lit on fire, essentially, and invades these other white folks' home. And he, surprise, is a vampire, turns them into vampires, and comes and finds the music of the people in the juke joint and is like so enthralled by what's going on that they're like, we must bring you into our collective hive mind by biting you. And we really just want you in the music because that's going to help bring our ancestors back, and we can all just like commune and live in happy middle limbo afterlife forever. But, people don't necessarily want to die or be immortal. So they like fight back, and mostly everybody does not make it out, except for Sammy. Sammy and anybody who went to church the next morning survive. But Sammy says that music saved his life, truly. And so he leaves the church and pursues that life for himself, where he comes back and does still meet some vampires who did survive. But that's the plot.
Yes. Okay. Well, I guess before we get into our deeper discussion, what were your first impressions of this film? I know, like, for me, we were talking about it earlier, but like when I first saw like the teaser trailer, I did not know this was a vampire movie because it was just like Michael B. Jordan like saw he had a twin and he's like digging something. I was like, oh, demons, sinners. Like, I didn't necessarily know it was a vampire film until a little bit later. I think maybe when that official trailer dropped, and then it was like, oh shit. But what were your first impressions of this film, and like how familiar, I guess, are you with Ryan Coogler's other work?
I saw a headline about it before they went into production, so I was already seated.
Okay.
I was also deep in my post prefrontal cortex vampire phase that I did not have as a youth. So I was seated, and I have a lot of thoughts. I don't know. Should I elaborate on those thoughts?
Go ahead. Go for it.
I love the realistic depiction of hoodoo in this. That stood out to me first. And also, like, this is like a bare minimum ask, but like seeing Black people in a post slavery world Reconstruction era, like, and like their daily life, and it's not about, yes, there's white people there, but it's like, it's not like trauma porn.
Yeah.
And you see like the community, like, in everybody's autonomy and
just existing.
Yeah,
I would say going in before seeing it, I was kind of like you, Imani. I didn't know, maybe until that second trailer. It's like you had the line, I think it's Annie, that's like, that's not your brother. So I knew it was something going on, but I didn't know exactly what it was. And then, when I saw that second trailer and it's like the shot of like Mary, I was like, okay, we're doing vampires. I'm ready for that. I'm ready for that. But yeah, I always was kind of like, I have to see this because I was familiar with Ryan Coogler's other work. So I was like, this is something I know that I want to see. I won't say I really had many, I don't know, super specific expectations, but it definitely, did I think I was going to be at AMC seeing it 10 times? No. So I would say it exceeded some of my expectations.
For sure. Absolutely.
Well, y'all know I don't like horror movies at all. So seeing spooky trailers, I'm like, yeah, no, I'm good. Even if it is Ryan Coogler, because I like Black Panther, like Wakanda Forever and Fruitvale Station, but I didn't see Creed, so I'm not necessarily as invested in Michael B. Jordan. But Michael B. Jordan playing twins sounded cool. I also didn't see Gemini Man, so I was like, maybe this is my time to come back around and see what like one person doing two. I'm like, that feels like the last time I saw like two of the same face on a screen, and I just like didn't pay attention. So I was like, maybe Michael B. will like pull me back in the way that Will Smith didn't. But it wasn't until I think like Imani, you or David sent like the Ryan Coogler like film aspect breakdown as he was like telling me where I had to see it.
Yeah, me and David were very pro this movie.
Yeah. So I feel like it was actually that day that once I saw that film, I was like, all right, fine. When I got time, I booked my ticket to the IMAX in Universal Studios and was impressed. Totally forgot that this was going to be a horror movie until like the vampires started dropping out. And at that point I felt prepared because I'm like, oh, y'all are really background characters. I can anticipate a jump scare. And it didn't feel like there was that many of them. So I was really blown away by how much I could sink my teeth into like these actual characters and the storyline of it and not just be sitting here like raising my adrenaline.
Yes, yes. And how about you, David?
So it's funny, like, I'm like you, Brianna, where like, I as soon as they announced it on Variety or Deadline, I was locked in. Especially because I remember the first thing they had, like photography of them shooting. I think it's smoke in the little town, talking to like the Asian people and stuff. Mm-hmm. But like it was the set photos of that. And because the costumes are from the other Blade set, people were making, not even knowing that, it just kind of had this aesthetic of Blade. The vibe was giving Blade. So everybody was joking, LOL, it's like Ryan Coogler's making Blade. So then I always kind of knew it was a vampire movie, but I didn't really know. I kept really forgetting that there was a twin aspect of it. I forgot about all that. Then the reviews were pretty good. People were raving about it. But for some reason, I thought it was, and not to sound mean, because this isn't really a Ryan Coogler thing, but like, I didn't know if it was going to be like, because white people are raving about it. For some reason, that's what I felt at the beginning. Mm-hmm. I'm like, a lot of white people are raving about this movie. So I came there just like, okay, I'm here to have fun. It's probably going to be a really good time, but I'm going to have some problems. And I was like looking over at my friend, and of course, the whole movie is great, and you're like, has so much that we'll get into, but like, obviously, like it has a turning point in the movie where he goes like, oh no, this is one of the coolest movies I've ever seen. We'll get into that scene and stuff too, but it's just like, man, Michael B. Jordan, the man, acting like the motherfucking man in this movie. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Men. I think low-key, like, the internet, kind of, like, have been clowning him for a while. So I think, like, this was a nice, like, rebrand to be, like, you know, I don't know, double, like, the tough guy shit. And just, like, yeah, like, I don't know, the just not being afraid to get into a musical style, mm-hmm. not being afraid to do the stuff that you would only get, like, that we would only be into in like film school or art school. Like that scene is like, it was cool to see normies get into, like, I don't want to see normies, but like, you know, the public who are just here to see a blockbuster get excited about a scene that is very like almost experimental in a way, you know what I mean? And like, that was the most hype part to them.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm kind of rambling on because I was freaking out. I was walking out of the theater like, oh, I was like mad, and that's why I was blowing up the group chat like, Sonny, see this.
You have to go see it.
See the movie. You're in California. See it in the 70 millimeter.
Yes, because we could not
see it because I can't.
I can't. I don't know how I'm in Atlanta and I can't. I was just like, damn, it didn't reach the South at all.
Near the Delta.
It didn't reach the South. Yeah, I was like 70 millimeter never reached the South. I just don't understand.
Damn.
Okay. Yeah.
And I will say that was kind of wild to see in the film literally shift aspects throughout on this big ass screen. And because I was like in the front row, like the theater was sold out. That was the only ticket I was going to get. And it was real uncomfortable to be right next to this white man who was like cackling the entire time. I was like, why is this funny to you, sir?
That's why you gotta laugh extra hard during the gun down.
Yeah, see, but he was laughing too hard.
That was like
that's what made me.
It was like the second coming of the ending of Django for me.
Yes,
but like more gratifying.
It was like this weird like the aesthetics of Django, but none of the problems.
Yes,
yeah,
but none of the problems. Agreed.
That the first watch, like when Sammy was clutching the broken guitar, like driving away, that broke me. Like that opened the floodgates.
Yeah.
And then even on the third watch for me, realizing like as we're doing this flip back and forth with him coming into the church and his father's just like, hey, put that guitar down, like this is the end for you. But he's seeing the flashes of like that guitar literally like slicing through Remnick's head. Yes, like that guitar was everything for him. If he didn't have it, then like who would he be?
It's like your indoctrination is not my problem, Dad.
Also, the dad is Saul Williams.
Yes.
What the fuck? I feel like nobody's made a big deal about that.
A role I did not see
insane.
for Saul Williams. Like, what a surprise!
And Saul Williams ain't said shit about
it.
He said there's more important shit to talk about. I'm like, damn right, Saul Williams.
Hey.
I'm curious, off of our, film is supposed to be show, don't tell. So like, what are some of the things that y'all were like reading from the visuals of the story that weren't necessarily said right out loud? Like the first thing, go ahead, please, somebody else.
I was going to say the scene when they're, when it's like Sammy and Delta Slim and Stack like in the car, like driving through the like cotton fields, is so breathtakingly beautiful and at the same time like so heartbreaking, just because of like the actual like just like the weight and the meaning and the history of these fields, but it's so, but at the same time it's like such a beautiful scene, like visually I'm like, it's so beautiful, but like there's so much like blood and violence around them at the same time. Like that was one of the moments that was just like so breathtaking to me. I'm like tearing up watching it, like, oh my gosh. And that was also one of those moments where like the screen like grows and gets bigger.
I think from the beginning, it like watching Sammy in the beginning, like he had already made his mind up that was his like last day working the fields and like listening to his father, like the way that he talked to the twins throughout. It was like he was just trying to get like some intel and like kind of like some encouragement to like go out on his own. So I feel like that wasn't explicitly said, but like the way he looks out at the field, like standing on the porch of his house, like he made up his mind.
I also think like biggest thing like visual wise, not biggest, but like all the historical stuff that happens visually that's not really spoken upon, like the way they kind of talk about like the segregated markets and stuff when like the woman, I forget her name, the Asian lady. I don't want to just call her the Asian lady, Jesus. Grace. But she like walks across the street and like that's its own has its own historical context. I also think certain things like, other character stuff, like when Sammy plays for the first time in front of Stack
in the car,
and the look that he gives him of like, like we take for granted like all this popular music we have. Like they really didn't have like fun music. So like hearing that and like being able to hear it in front of you, I don't know. I liked how like yeah, they were tough guys, but like this very like since there's a real sincerity to all the characters and real emotion to all the characters, especially the twins. But that scene, I don't know. You saw like in his face, it's like, oh my gosh, look at my cousin. He's amazing at this. This is beautiful, but also it's like, I've been waiting for this. I've been waiting to hear this. You know,
it's that flash of greatness of like, wow, like you really got it.
Yeah.
That Remick will later also see for and feel the same thing, but with completely different intentions. You know,
absolutely.
I would say we touched a little bit on it earlier on with Brianna saying, but I think the moment that Smoke arrives at like any store at that land, especially with like speaking or thinking about the history of hoodoo, how it automatically just feels different. But even some of those elements of like, you see the wind and the music that's going, and I'm like, this really like, it feels like a sort of, I guess, like a root workshop, like without even her even having to say anything, them stepping into it. When she's like reworking that mojo bag for him, all of those little moments that aren't, like you said, explicitly saying it, but it's like, I know the work that's going on in that shop. Like I know what she's doing and what she's using, and you can just feel it almost immediately from when we step there.
And the sound design like echoes that when she was like, you think you just like survived like off of shits and gigs, and I didn't like.
I wasn't in here work
every route my grandma told me, and like you hear like a sound like swelling up behind her, and like it kind of, I feel like the lens kind of blurs a little bit as well too when she's speaking. Like and I remember when like they were still like the movie wasn't out yet, and like they announced like, oh, there's another magical element in the movie aside from vampires, and like my guess was like some spiritual hoodoo shit, like because I trusted Coogler to like, based off of the research and work he did in like Black Panther, like I know that's like obviously like big Marvel shit, but he put a lot of intention in that and research. So I was not shocked that he came how he came.
Yeah, I also
that movie, the Black Panther movie, has the most substance of any of like those
Marvel movies.
You know, yeah.
I
was gonna say, sorry, someone else, go ahead.
I was just going to add to this hoodoo point. Like I was listening to an interview from one of the women who they consulted about that piece. And she was just talking about how in hoodoo, there's also like a bridge between artifacts and the spirituality and like putting things into actual possessions. And so like literally, as you said, just like putting them on the shelf and giving them that visual representation helps like build out the whole world. Even like Annie just like wearing all this indigo as like her protection, and was like connecting it back to just giving folks like a space to truly believe in something for themselves, whether it works every time or not. Because like as Michael B. Jordan like breaks that lens and that echo that you're hearing, because he's like, okay, so then if it worked for me, why didn't it work for our baby? And she doesn't have an answer, because like not everything can have answers, but it's like he still carries that mojo bag with him everywhere, like Frederick Douglass did. And it's a conscious choice for him to take it off at the very end that releases him from his protection, so that way he can die in peace. But then that also like frees him too, so that way he can like see the transition and the work of what everything that he's been holding on to does for him. Yeah.
I was going to say I think Ryan Coogler does like such a good job of telegraphing like so much without having to explicitly say it. And like, I feel like that's another reason why this movie feels so, there's so much to it, because he is constantly showing you, not telling. Like that, like David called back, like that scene of where you see Grace like in the like the whites only store, and like literally crossing the street over to like where Black people are allowed to shop, or all like every scene that Annie is in, like I know when like Smoke is standing there, we see like smoke kind of like swell up around him. You know, on Annie's windows, you can see like she has written a menu. There's a menu written on her windows because she's also like feeding people. Like people come here to eat. And also the fact that like her house is so like solitary, like there is nothing around her home. It's just this little shack in the middle of the woods. There's nothing else around it. There's no one else around it. I think again suggesting that like she is like this outsider, even though people do come to her, like she isn't someone who like lives like compared to Sammy, like in his house, like he's in a neighborhood, he's in a community where he has neighbors and there's people all around him, but Annie is still very off by herself. Yeah, I'm like, shout out to Ryan Coogler, because I think that he works so hard to give us so much without it feeling like too much. And I know like even when it comes to like villains of his films, like he does a lot of work so that the villain isn't like just this purely like evil person, where it's like a person you can kind of like, no, I kind of see what you're saying, even though I don't necessarily agree, but like, you know, I see it.
The most enticing vampire deal in any movie I've seen. Yeah. Where it was like, I see where y'all are saying it does not look fun, but I see what y'all are saying.
Most of the time, vampires in movies are like sex related. And he's just like, let's link and build.
Lesbian community.
Yeah, like we all gonna be in this forever. Might as well like use it for good.
Listen,
they did the same thing to me.
It's like this is why white people should not be community organizers, because they're just gonna fucking. They're gonna do some freak shit. I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
They're gonna get everybody jigging in the middle of the field, and then there's gonna be a Dutch angle. I mean, that song was lit. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Oh yeah, I was in there. That
Rocky Road to Dublin.
Not too much on the Dutch angle. It worked.
Well, speaking of the music, I'm like, the film starts off with like that thesis statement of. Some people have this gift of music that allows them to pierce the veil between life and death, and like conjure up life and death, spirits from the future and the past. So I'm just curious, how does this film use music to support that juxtaposition between healing and attracting evil? Like, what is it about? Yeah, Sammy specifically being that holder between the worlds, and yeah, the person that like gets to wield this power.
When it opened, so the first thing when I was, my skeptical brain, I'm sitting there watching the movie, and they opened talking about mentioning a griot. I was like, oh, yo, I'm locked in because a blockbuster movie is opening and talking about some griots, which I learned recently is still like a colonial term. It's like a French colonial term. I didn't know that. I was talking to some guy I was trying to work with, and he was like, yeah, that's that's not like born to like Africa technically. Like the role is, but that name
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
You know what I mean? But regardless, so I'm like, yo, okay, locked in on that. Obviously all the, musical stuff, I guess, is this a way of just leading into talking about like the best scene that's ever been in a fucking movie ever?
It can be.
Yeah.
I will say, like, obviously, like anybody who's seen the movie, it's the scene where like Sammy, does a song and it incorporates like basically the African diaspora of music for centuries and lands, and like I feel like that scene. If there's anything that's like only film could like portray this feeling of like image and sound together and actors and wardrobe and all these things, like only like, because Sonny, we've talked about this, like we've talked about when we've talked about movie ideas like this, like connecting new things to old things, and how like certain dances like go-go music or whatever and like are connected to, I'm kind of forgetting in real time, but like we've talked about this. So just to see like him just like in a mainstream blockbuster movie, like I don't know. He's also, Ryan Coogler really likes that, you know, that those one take.
Yes.
They're not always technically one take, but like a
One shot.
long-ish take, you know, rotating shot. I'll let someone else go in about, like, you know, the healing and all the other stuff, because I've been yapping too much, but God, good Lord. I was just like looking around at everybody. I'm like, is this happening? Are we experiencing this right now?
Multiple times I'm looking
theater?
Around the theater like, y'all see this?
I'm like, yo.
Yeah, I don't want to. I don't want to see nobody else's reation. That's why I'm friends.
Lily burns the house down.
Yes, the roof is on fire. We don't need no water. We gonna let this mother burn. But also specifically, yes, I like to refer to it as the Black dimension. I like the space where Black people, time and space, get to join together through Blackness's past and future, and essentially that is kind of like what this griot did. So I also was getting like real teary in that moment, because that was giving me chills. I was like, oh, the collective consciousness, other people have this idea too, and now we get to like see it actualized, and even and not just Black people, because I'm like, the Chows also had like some of their ancestors coming through the space. I don't necessarily think I saw any like indigenous native people, but also they were not technically present in the space, so I wonder if that's why they weren't 100% included. But yeah, that was gorgeous. And then again, to see it from the outside. So it's like, okay, so the heat and the spirit and the passion that like burned this fictional roof down, and we just get to see the structure from the outside, kind of as like a foreshadow to what's about to happen, because this whole place is about to like come down, and in the people and their spirits inside will still be present, but not really in the same way anymore. Yeah. So I don't know how the attraction of evil to something good, but this movie kind of frames it in a way that like the quote unquote evil is also seeking like their own form of healing. Like they are seeing something powerful happen, the people coming together through time and space, and they just like want a piece of that. They are trapped in between time and space in these liminal bodies, and are just looking for some semblance of connection to their own people. So I guess it's a question of like, you know, what is evil? You know, is it something that is like self-centered? Is it for your own personal gain? Or is it just like something that's seen as bad to one person, but, you know, if you on the other side, then maybe you don't look so bad. I don't know.
I feel like that scene, and like also at the end when Annie is on the other side and Smoke sees her, like, all of that gives credence to the idea of like time is not linear, and like there's other dimensions. And we talked about like in the Daughters of the Dust episode about like your Ori and your ancestors, and like just everybody in your lineage like existing within you, and like in spirit, and being able to connect to them. And like we saw that in that juke scene, but also like Smoke's daughters right there. And like Christopher Nolan being in the thanks and the credits, like I knew he fucked with that.
Yes, he did.
There might have been some IMAX shit, because like he has a real I think that might have been he got that connection to like the I didn't see that. I didn't know that was
that's
in there.
His mentor. He says that Christopher Nolan is his mentor, and he's like learned a lot about like filmmaking in the business from Christopher Nolan.
Listen, Ryan Coogler's a bro, so you know he's gonna be into bro shit. But yeah, I imagine he got that connection to Kodak and getting all that like that specific stock of 70. Because they're the only ones I think that make it. I think.
Didn't he say that seeing Christopher Nolan with his wife, like being all in the business side of his work too, is what made him be like, oh, I need to lock in with my wife. Like,
shout out to Zinzi.
That's
She got him Adobe or whatever.
Yeah, I think Final Draft. But I was like, that does connect. We had an episode on A Murder in Harlem, which is an Oscar Me show film, but it was produced by his wife, Alice V. Russell, who also had like a huge hand in his filmmaking, like pretty much like none of his films would have ever been able to been made if it weren't for the work that Alice B. Russell was putting in. So I think it, and also like Ryan Coogler has talked about that, like seeing how like, yeah, all of these like, you know, quote unquote great filmmakers a lot of the times are like working alongside with their partners, and it made him feel better about working with his wife, because he's like, oh no, this is actually like a thing, and like of course like this person is my sounding board, this is the person I pitch to, this is the person, you know, who literally is my second brain, like why, and also brings like wonderful things to the table, like why would I not work with my wife? Like that, it just goes hand in hand. Yeah, I
feel like that's echoed in the film, the dynamic between the twins and their and Sammy as well, and their female counterparts, like,
and the Chows.
It's not on. We're not going to be bound by some patriarchal shit. Like, I'm going to defer to you, like, because we all have different strengths.
Yeah. Before we get into the romantics, because I got something to say about that. But one more thing about like the dance griot scene. I remember not right after, but not too long after that, there was some festival in like not Southwest, it was like Southwest-ish Philadelphia. That was like a black like culture festival, African sports festival or whatever.
Oh, you talking about Dune Day?
Yes, it was the Adunde Festival, yeah. And, like, you're walking around, and it's like, they're doing, like, this type of live music over here, and they're literally breakdancing over here, and they're doing African drums over here, or West African drums over here. It's literally that scene, but just all day. And, I don't know, it is, like... there's nothing else to say about that. I just thought it's just interesting how much like we have so much culture, there's so much life and so much like eagerness to keep like that in to never be forgotten, to like always know where everything came from, and like I
think too, like I was watching an interview where like Ryan Coogler was talking about like the connection between like the blues and like church, right? And it being that like, you know, one of the reasons, or really the reason why like the church was like so against like the blues and like the juke joints was because people would go out, spend all their money, and then Sunday comes around and they don't have any money for the offering. And so that was also part of the reason why like the two were clashing. But also he was like saying that like with the you know, the church says to like that like the flesh is evil, like the flesh is like the origin of like your sins and like the reason all these bad things are happening, whereas like the blues is very much focused on like how I feel. I've been in the fields all day working and now my back hurt. You know, I really like this person and, you know, I want them for me. The blues so it's like the blues is very much concerned with like the flesh, whereas like the church isn't. So I think that was also part of like that juxtaposition of like the evil and healing. And then I thought it was interesting, I loved how he like when Sammy says Sammy says Stack told him that he got his guitar like from this blues musician, and it's like a call to like who was considered this dude Robert Johnson, who was considered like the first like rock and roll star, and the rumor was that like he met the devil at a crossroads and like sold his soul to be famous. So it's like, again, I'm like, I just love how like Ryan Coogler packs like so much of our history and of our knowledge like into his work without like these ideas you may not be familiar with. He's like still planting those seeds of interest to get you to look into it even more. And like, yeah, I was like, music is wonderful. I was gonna say Ludwig Jorgensen is like the music king, the music person on this movie, and like he's like, I mean, he's done so much now, but he's like best known, I guess, as like the other half of Childish Gambino, Donald Glover. Like
He was scoring Community.
Yes,
That's how he met Donald.
But like
Yeah.
Ryan Coogler and Ludwig went to school together, so like he knows him before Donald Glover did. But Ludwig was saying, because he's from Sweden, he is Swedish, and he was saying that when he was growing up, his dad was a guitar teacher, and so his dad was really into like the Beatles and the Rolling Stones, and the Rolling Stones have always been very vocal about like, we got our name from a blues song like Daddy Was a Rolling Stone by Muddy Waters. They've always been very vocal about that because they were like, we love the blues, we love American blues music. And he said that Ludwig, when he was growing up, like his dad played a lot of blues. And like the blues ended up becoming more popular in Sweden and Europe because of the Rolling Stones being so vocal about their inspirations. So like Europeans were like, oh my gosh, like we love the blues. And as that got popular there, then the American music industry was like, oh my gosh, like that's us. Like, what do you mean? And tried to like pull it back. So like, I thought it was very interesting that like Ludwig is like the person who is coming up with these scores. And he's like also has like this deep connection to blues music because he's like, this is what I grew up with in Sweden. And like Ryan Coogler is someone who is like, I grew up listening to hip hop rap music. I wasn't really into the blues, but my connection to the blues was through my uncle who was from the South and migrated out west to California. And that was my like, I was just like, wow, like look at all this like coming together. And I think that adds to like the like this movie, you know, is very much about like the different intersection of different cultures. And I'm like, behind the scenes, this intersection of different cultures was also happening there. I'm just like, crazy, wonderful.
Yeah. And I also heard him talk about like wanting to highlight the blues because it specifically was a music that is coming from a place of pain. And he was talking about like how these are such intense times where like even as they're just like picking through the cotton fields, they still have this one chance to just be free and like find some sort of sound or something that is only for them. So like in the beginning, we also get to see Sammy picking and he's like humming his way through. Like that's just how he gets through the day. As Delta Slim is like recounting his friend's lynching. He also just like has to hum it on out of his body. And Sammy, after surviving this night, continues to play the blues for the rest of his life because as Delta Slim told him when he first met him, he's like, I got socks older than you, my guy. Like, what troubles do you have to be singing about? But like, after that night, he done took on a lifetime's worth of troubles to continue to fuel his existence forward. Yeah.
I feel like Delta Slim's mentorship, what he said, like this comes from us. Like they try to disconnect this type of shit from us, like through the church. Like don't let them take that away from you. Like I feel like that echoes like in the church, like with Christianity, like they did try to sever the tie between like what we came from by making us like submit to a white God and white man. So like when you said something about like how the church didn't like was in conflict with Jukes for monetary reasons, interesting. Interesting. Yeah.
Well, even just like it's like we know this connection that like gospel and blues music has, and how they both come from that like you said, you got to get it out. But the church kind of being made as something where we're just supposed to be like stoic and obedient. But praise and worship time comes around, like that was just something that you could not take away from us. Like it's a totally different service when it's time for like praise and worship and music and movement. It's
objectively the best part of church. They could never take that away from you.
Yeah.
a good song and dance. Other than that, I'm good.
And that's where you start to fall asleep. That's why it's the beginning of church, and after that, we all knocked out. All right.
I'm thinking about McDonald's after.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah.
I guess this is a weird tangent, but I'll make it fast. You might be even able to cut it if it sucks. But one thing I've just heard people just talking about recently is like, it's not really related to the movie. It's more the black church thing, and like more politicians need to utilize the black church in a way that is more, not even because like for any theology reasons or trying to like kiss anybody's ass. It's just they're a strong organizing force that like a lot of black establishment dens really get to utilize because they work through there. I'm not saying it's like the end all be all. But it was just, like I saw someone make an interesting case.
Yeah.
You say what? Go ahead.
Meeting black people where they're at. Yeah.
Yes. And it's like, it's really more like it was really a message to like non-black politicians and like the Mandanis of the world and stuff.
Yeah.
How they can like.
This is like a low-key side tangent. Do you watch Hassan?
Sometimes.
Okay. He was talking about that with with a black streamer like yesterday or 2 days ago, like how
I heard
a lot
FD
of
Signifier talk about it.
Okay. It was like Sean the Black, like they did reference FD like in that conversation, like how like leftists, like a lot of white leftists need to do that specifically.
Yes.
Like instead of like being on their high horse.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just talk to black people. Anyway.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, like, it sounds like that worked for like Jesse Jackson and Martin Luther King, but then I don't know, I get scared of thinking of like preacher's wife and you have this dude who's like in the church just to use these people or to like buy it out because he's like, well, I could do what I want. I'm just using this space as a political move too.
Yes. Yeah, no, Preacher's Wife will come later this year in December. We will have this Preacher's Wife discussion.
That soundtrack.
Iconic.
That soundtrack.
Iconic.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I was like, I grew up Baptist sing the entire time. I was like, the majority of service is actually song and praise with a 30-minute sermon. So I'm just like, yeah, like you can't take that away. And I think that's also part of this film is like showing that we are like a conglomerate of everything that we have been through. Like we still carry these, African traditions, and we have melded them in to our force like Christianity, and at the same time we are in America and capitalism is a thing, and it has all like it's a mismatch of it all to create like Black America.
There's a reason why the black church music hits different than like everybody else's. Like we're a conduit for something deeper, like
ancestral.
Like,
Yeah. And I think too, like it goes to show, because I think that there is like this capitalist undertone of this film, because it is like, the moment they try to go and get that money from Remick, from the white people, is like downhill. It's like completely downhill from there. But like at the same time, even if like Remick never showed up, like the Klan was going to show up in the morning. Yeah. So it's like this idea, they were like, oh, we're going to buy us a juke joint and have this thing, this ownership, this thing that we own. And that was going to backfire on you anyway. But instead we get, we're going to try to get, because we're short on actual money because everyone is paying in these like plantation coins. Like, we're going to try and get, these old ass coins from Remick, and that just also just leads them downhill. And so it's like this, you can't win with capitalism. I think that's like really what it is. It's like you can't win. They were always doomed. And even like the twins coming from Chicago, and they kind of allude to it that they're the ones responsible for the St. Valentine's Day massacre. where like Al Capone's people like killed this Irish gang, and it's like, you know, in the movie they're like kind of allude to like, oh, you set Al Capone up against this rival gang, and what happens when they both figure out it was you. It's just, yeah, this part,
and they were like acting like the same person.
Yeah,
they're playing both sides. 'Cause
there
was like a fake like newspaper article on like the Sinner's website or something that like alluded to that. Yeah,
and so it's just like, yeah, this, you're just doomed. It was like you were always doomed for trying to participate in this thing that was not ever really meant for you.
I have like a theory on the vultures in the film also.
Okay.
I feel like the vulture, like there's 3 vultures, and I feel like they each represent a different threat to like the Black American soul specifically.
Ooh.
So like when it begins and you see Smoke and Stacks like waiting for Hogwood, there's 2 vultures in the background flying behind them. And then when Hogwood enters, the 3rd vulture also enters and joins the other 3. So I feel like one vulture could be like white supremacy. Like everybody's existing within that system down there. And that includes like capitalism, commerce, all of that. And then the other threat in vulture is like religion, the white man's religion, trying to like separate us from like our ancestral traditions. And the 3rd vulture, the 3rd threat, is the vampire, because he's already in the area. That's my opinion.
And also falls out the sky.
Yes. Also, when they're talking to Sammy when they first pick him up, and they're like, we wanted to come back to deal with the devil we know rather than like northern white people. Like, and then they immediately come across a devil they didn't know was there, which is the snake in the back of the truck. And it's like the first biblical manifestation of Satan. And they later on encounter a devil they didn't know was there as well, which is Remick. So that's like a direct connection.
Yeah, it was pretty sick.
I'm like, he was cooking. Ryan Coogler was cooking. I'm just like,
yeah, 2 months writing this in 2 months. Like,
wild.
That is wild.
He's tapped in.
Yeah, and like the other capital, like I guess this is kind of related to the capitalism, but like, you know, we talked about things that are like unspoken, but there's some nice just straight up spoken things. And like when the guy, you know, during the joint, he's ordering beer, and he's like, "Oh, y'all some fancy niggas." He only has like the wooden chips or whatever, and like that whole argument that Smoke has, like, "Yo, aren't we trying to make
U.S.
money?"
motherfucking dollars.
And it's like, and he's like, "We are, but like we gotta make this is for us. Like they gotta know that this is for them, and they gotta feel safe here. Like they've been working." He's been working all damn day for that.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, just blatantly saying that. And also like the call, like these like poetic calls to things like, we were free that night, or before the sun came down, like a sundown town, we were free, or like, I don't know, this constant like call to freedom and I mean, they say for us, by us. It's like, you know what I mean? Love it. It's almost like weirdly like a black fan film.
Yeah.
And you know, we also get that scene where Smoke is talking to the little girl, and he's like, all right, so as soon as you start talking numbers, like, we should be talking numbers. Like, it's always a negotiation. Don't just go with your first offer. Like, really think about what you're worth. Like, what it is that I'm asking you. Like, I told you who I was, and you started backing away. You already knew that was trouble. So tell me, what is it going to cost for you to like do something for me? And I'm curious. Ryan Coogler also said that like he was inspired by this film to make the deal that he did, to make sure that he owns the rights after 25 years, that he's going to get everything for the licensing from franchise, from TV streams to broadcasting, because he's like, that's just like a whole thing, is that there's just like these characters who are trying to find ownership for themselves on their own bodies, of their own money, their own like time and resources. So yeah, I'm also just curious, like, what have you all learned about talking numbers and negotiating, from valuing yourself? What can we learn from seniors about that, I guess?
Don't let them in. Do not let them in. Don't let them in. Don't do it. Don't do it. I don't know. It's all fucked because, like, Warner Brothers just split with Discovery, and like when there's that shit is stupid. That shit is so stupid.
Is gonna make a Waluigi out of me. You might have to cut that.
That motherfucker has wasted so much money and time. This has all been just a huge
cash
waste
grab.
of fucking
It's just
money.
a cash grab. That's it.
And I say that to say
Like
that
getting
like,
rid of all the Cartoon Network cartoons. Sorry.
no, I'm about to delete it. I'm about to delete HBO Max because why? Well, this is half the reason I'm here. I know they got Turner Classic Movies, but he was going to delete that also. Steven Spielberg and Paul Thomas Anderson had to go over there and beg this loser to not get rid of something off of a streaming service. Yeah, no, fucking dun 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 dun.
Damn. Y'all could try to come for me, but you ain't gonna take my shit. That's what I'm learning is that we own the shit. It's gonna be out where it needs to be. What you gonna do? Shut down every like radio wave station that's picking up the RSS? I think not. We will build new ones. We'll figure it out.
You know, I was going to say, with this deal, I know people kept bringing it up that like Ryan Coogler gets like ownership after 25 years and like how unique that is. And he had to like point it out that like, no, it's not. Like Christopher Nolan gets this deal all the time. Like Steven Spielberg gets this deal all the time. Martin Scorsese gets this deal all the time. Tarantino gets these deals all the time. Like this is not unique. This is not special. I'm not like one of a kind.
And then Tyler Perry tried to take.
Oh my.
Bro, that pissed me off. I'm like, bro, shut up. You in trouble. You in trouble. Be quiet.
You have 30 minutes left.
By the time this Boondock episode goes off.
Yeah. And so it's just like, you know, I think that this was a big reminder to like Black filmmakers, like, know your worth. Like he had to, I think it was on Democracy Now! Is where he was saying that. And he's like, you know, I have the resume to back this up. Like I have multiple movies that have brought in billions of dollars. Like all of my movies are critically acclaimed. All of my movies have won awards. You know, I'm not just a random dude walking in here. Like I have the resume, I have the credits, I have the accolades to back this up. So it's like, why would I not get a deal like this for myself? Like, why would I not do that? And
don't play with
James.
Them. I did the Wakanda salute at my graduation. Like,
same.
Walking across the stage. Don't play with. 2018 was different.
and
2017.
But like his movies make James Cameron numbers.
Yes, exactly.
Like Avatar numbers, like. And like, first of all, Sonny, you gotta see Creed. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on in your life. But you gotta see that.
I just be busy, you know.
We need to talk about that movie. To be honest, that movie.
It's on the list.
Is the best Rocky movie. It is the best Rocky movie.
Haven't seen Rocky.
All the Rocky movies are alright.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway,
I believe it. I'm rooting for everybody black.
Yeah. Always.
But also, I'm like,
are you rooting for Jonathan Majors and Creed 3?
I'm always rooting for black people to find themselves.
I say Creed 1. You only got to see Creed 1. That's okay.
Yeah.
I just want to see Max's be featured because that's my favorite cheesesteak place. What? Any other thoughts, questions, things y'all want to get off your chest?
I wrote like a 1700 word essay on this in my notes app, honestly.
Please.
I'll let somebody else talk first, but like I have some like numerology shit.
Yes, I was like, I would love to hear
other visual motifs.
I would love to hear.
I could also just quick question, I guess. I don't even have to talk. I'm just like, we haven't really talked about a lot of there are white characters. We haven't mentioned what's her name at all.
Oh, Haley Steinfeld?
Mary.
Mary,
the Octoroon.
What are our thoughts on Miss Mary?
You know,
what are our thoughts? Because he's obvious. There's intentions happening. It's not unintentional that Stack dating the white girl is the first one to turn over. You know, you know what I'm saying. What we think is going on here? how we feel about her performance, her character.
I mean, it was like, I hope Dr. Umar doesn't see this, because we'll never hear that.
Oh my god.
Well, he's in trouble anyway, too, right
He's
now.
been in trouble.
He's calling for help. I know, but he's calling for help.
He
now.
is calling for help. He's asking for money, y'all. You know, I think Ryan Coogler was trying to show so much. And I think the inclusion of Mary and her being like, you know, my grandfather was half black, and then her being welcomed into the community. I think it's just like times were different. Like in 1930, it's like, yeah, actually, that does matter that your grandfather was half
I don't
black.
want to be white. I want to be with you.
Which also, I think Mary was a sex worker. It's kind of like, you know, if Stack was in Arkansas selling ass, and then at one point it says to Mary, like, I left you in Arkansas with a rich white man.
Well, shit, I did not pick up on that.
That's what I picked up on my last one.
I heard that in the third time.
Did I hear when he said I was selling ass, I was like, were you selling yours?
That's what it sounds like. But he was selling her ass.
Yeah. He was selling other
bisexual icon, perhaps.
My man was pimping.
Yeah, he was pimping. He was pimping. And I think Mary was a part of that because he left her in Arkansas with a rich white man. He had set her up. I thought that was interesting. But yeah, you know, I think it's like, you know, in today's time, like no one's going to see Haley Steinfeld and be like, just as a black woman. But like, you know, in 1932.
Well, Shamik Moore saw something.
You know, I ran into him outside the airport one day at 5 a.m. going off. And I was like, sir, it is 5 a.m. You were standing in the middle of the doorway. And I don't understand why you are.
He was going off on
He was like
what?
on the phone. He was on the phone yelling like, they don't know who I am. And it was like 5 a.m. At Hartsfield
They
Jackson.
don't. What you gonna do?
But it caught me because I was like, Moms? And it was Shamik Moore.
Chill, man.
But yeah, I think it was just like, I think like the inclusion of like the chows in the film. I think he was really trying to paint this like full picture of like what the world looked like, what the South looked like at this time, because we are fed this one version of what it looked like. And it's like, no, like Asian people, they're like, the Chinese were here as well because they were not allowed to be a part of like white society, even though it was, you know, there was more to it. It was a little different. It wasn't the same thing for them, but it's like they were also here with us. It's like, yeah, someone like Mary is seen as like a part of the community. Like this point in time looks way more different than what we're traditionally given. And, you know, I do think she was a good conduit to make this reach out to Rennick, like when they leave, and she's like, no, they'll talk to me, they'll tell me more, you know, than they tell you. I'm just like, wonderfully written.
That pussy's still in line. That happened in the theater. My theater was on the fucking floor. Anyway, go ahead.
Two things, like, did you see like they like researched and used a like specific type of Mandarin that was like relevant to the time, and like the Chinese people who lived there, like to use that for when Remick spoke to her. Like, the research went crazy. But also I feel like a lot of people, I feel like you can argue it a few ways. Like a lot of people think like, see, they fucked up like by letting just anybody into their space, like with, well, Remick 1 is like, you could argue that he's like represents like the white people that try to like co-opt black creativity for their own profit. Like that's, I feel like that's obvious right there. But also like Mary, like they let her in and then she snaked them. But did she? Because Stack, his nickname
Stack
alludes to stacking paper. He was driven by greed a little bit, like, and he was like, okay, fine, you can go out there with my gun and like try to get these coins. So I was just gonna say the black people suck at gatekeeping, because we are so inclusive and understand what it's like to be excluded from so many places that it's like, nah, everybody's cool here. Like, we want to create cool spaces. But like, as it was also said, you let uncool people in the space and then what happens? Then they start trouble. Somebody like steps on their toe, drops a drink, and now
Now we all have to center these folks' feelings and experiences in our world. Like, is the coin truly worth it? But in like Mary's case, like she is a part of the caste system that they have set up here. So I'm like, she's got drops of Negro blood in her, and that's enough for.
And then she became Puerto Rican. Oh my God.
Yes, she did. She became Puerto Rican.
Bruh.
Boy, she was Boricua. Like, what you mean? It's 1992.
She said she.
You know, some. I heard some people talk about like how they could recognize that she was a black person from Jump, which
Where
questionable. But I guess that's just to say that I don't know. I don't think the brown paper bag should be the reason, the way to tell who's good and who's not, because all skin folk ain't kinfolk, you know.
No, I feel like it was I mean, there is like a. Once you said it, it was like, okay. You know what I mean? It was like I could see where like down the line it got like filtered, you know.
The London type beat.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you look like you're like a fourth, a sixth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So the issue isn't necessarily, even though I just said black people are bad at gatekeeping, but it's like, you know, there shouldn't be gates necessarily, or should there?
Yes.
We shouldn't have to have gates,
but because we have to, we should.
Yes.
Yeah.
So get better at not walking away from the door.
Maybe it's just another set of gates.
I was going to say, I do appreciate how it was one band, one sound. Like, I feel like so often, like in horror movies, when it's like the obvious horror thing is happening and people are like, we should split up, or like, you know, like, no, I don't think that's what's going on. I love how like Annie said, something ain't right. And they was all like, something ain't right. Like, I love that there was no discussion. There was no argument about it. It was like, you absolutely right. Like, ain't nobody was.
There was a lot of Grace had a hate train.
Grace
on
did.
the timeline.
Grace did. I think that's why.
Grace
they manipulated her. They manipulated her motherhood.
They did.
So like, she didn't want to be a snake, but like her daughter, she was the only one that had like a kid that we saw.
Exactly, and they just straight up told you that they're gonna go down to that store and get Lisa. So it's like, I feel like all the grace like was non-existent for people, and I was just like, y'all, they was starting in her daughter. Like, she's supposed to be like, no.
I'm like, okay, I'm not trying to be too like, because then the movie can't happen.
Yeah,
like,
she has to. Somebody has to let them in.
Can't be like, you can't be too cinema sinsy about shit because it's like, okay, well then the plot doesn't happen. But it's like, girl, just get them to like go on the roof and shoot them from up there. Or some
I think
shit,
it was also
like,
just the fact that she dies first, though. It's like you let them in and then you just all slowly burn. Now, bitch, the rest of us really have to deal with it, and that's the issue: is that you just like unleash this horror for everybody else to deal with, and you not even a part of it because we wasn't even strong enough to hold your own. Yes.
But you know,
she was going to die anyways, what it sounds like.
You witness a murder in front of you, and then like everybody's eyes are glowing, and then this white man's talking to you in Mandarin and telling you how your husband touches you. I am going to break psychologically. Against my will.
And you threatening my daughter, like.
I understand Grace's perspective.
Come on
I'm just saying,
motherfucker.
I will die on fire right now.
Yeah. But I think that is why her name is Grace, because I think Ryan was trying to tell us, like, y'all, come on, have some grace for Grace. Have some grace.
She immediately sacrificed herself to. Yeah. So
tell me about these numbers.
Okay. First, let's start with the number 2. The twins. Okay. You know, there's balance, there's duality, as above, so below. I feel like that's evident throughout this, like with the thing of the veil and all that. But also there's like, I feel like at the very beginning, there's like the sun flare. You see 2 glowing dots, like when you see the sun in the sky, And that kind of echoes like the glowing of the eyes of the vampires. And you even see that when Cornbread's peeing.
Yes.
And they're whispering his name. You see in the background like 3 sets of glowing eyes, like very faintly before it cuts away. Like, so that was cool as fuck, for one. Okay. Stack's car, the red car, the numerology of that license plate, you add that up and it's 8.
Ooh.
And I wrote some shit down. 8 can represent infinite possibilities. It's like the infinity sign. Transformation, like into death and rebirth. Balance between the material and the spiritual, manifestation, power, and karma. And Stack receives karma for his actions in this because he's kind of mischievous and like takes more risks than his calculated counterpart of a brother. So like his nickname is in reference to like stacking cash, like, so he's like kind of driven by greed. And I talked about how he had Mary go out there, so he got his instant karma for that. Yes. When she bit him and killed him. And also like if even if the vampires didn't come for them, like the Irish mob or the Italian mob may have found them eventually. Also the KKK were coming back to kill them. So
karma.
He karma. And then Smoke's truck, like you add that up and it's the number 9. And that represents like completion, fulfillment, end of a cycle, wisdom, enlightenment, humanitarianism, personal growth.
Wow.
And he literally like he ends the cycle of his relationship with his brother because he became a vampire. So that's one thing he has to let go of. He also ends the cycle of the KKK killing people in that slaughterhouse because he guns them down. Yeah. They can't do that anymore.
Sure.
He also like ends the cycle of the pain that he's been carrying and guilt he's been carrying about like losing his child. And he ends the cycle of protection that Annie gave him by ripping off the mojo bag and like choosing to die and like go to the afterlife. So
damn,
those are just a few things.
Damn, that is wild. I know too that Ryan Coogler said he chose to write about twins because one, he has like a lot of twins in his own family. Like there's just a lot of twins, like his mother is a twin, but also in like Yoruba culture, or just the Yoruba people as a whole, there are a lot of twins born, and they don't know why, but it's like the rate of incidence of twins is like really high for Yoruba people, and also like twins are like highly revered in like Yoruba beliefs, so that was like also one of the reasons why he chose to make Smoke and Stack twins as well. It's like, oh, interesting. The attention paid to this movie was crazy. Like, because also the car that he's driving is a black-owned. The type of car that they're driving is a black-owned vehicle, a black-owned car made by like a black-owned car maker of the time. So I'm like, yeah, the research of this movie is fucking crazy.
Also, the use of red, it like gives like biblical implications. Yeah. Like they only have the color red for the sign, like, and it's like using lamb's blood to mark
yes,
to mark so that don't come over here except they did because it's vampires. Yeah,
and speaking of like some of those costume motifs, I just wanted to point out that I know the contacts were like something experimental that they were coming up with at the time, so that was like also like a new thing to have light being reflected off of people's actual eyes.
It was a practical.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Yeah, it was a practical. It wasn't special effects.
And same with the prosthetics. That was the other thing I was going to say was instead of like, I mean, they CGI'd Michael B. Jordan's head all over the place. But like the actual like vampire prosthetics, when people started like getting torn apart, like those are real. They like crafted them out, took molds of everybody's face, sent them off to like New York, brought them back, had to research them. And I remember it was Michael Fontaine who like built the prosthetics, and he was talking about everybody else kind of like builds on a mask because it's like once they become vampires, it's like adding a new layer to them. Whereas like Remic's mask is really already on the entire time. So his is more of like that dissolve that we get to like reveal his actual face. But also fun fact, Ruth and Michael B. Jordan both hated the fake blood. Ruth was like, all of my designs just soaked in this sticky, icky substance every day. She hated it.
And shout out to Ruthie Carter, like the first Black person, I think, Black person to win like an Academy Award for costume design. But like,
I met her that year for 2 seconds.
Damn, shout out to Ruth.
She's like, congratulations.
Yeah, because I'm like, she's been in the game for so long. Like, she has pretty much, I think she's costumed all of Spike's movies. I don't think he's ever done a movie without her. She did the Black Panther movies as well. I'm like, yeah, shout out to Ruthie Carter.
Shout out to the whole team.
I recommend her book.
It is very
also it's just another effect thing. Like, I did one again. Michael B. Jordan was the man, and there was a moment where he's fighting himself, and I went, "Oh wait, I forgot that this is one guy."
Yeah,
like, and weirdly, this year in film, there's been a lot of double in
Superman.
movies.
Yeah.
Superman, without spoiling, Superman has double. Yes. There's a Robert De Niro thing that has a double. Mickey 17 has a double. Isn't there there's one with a woman in it that's a double? Oh, I think.
Is it the Demi Moore substance?
No, I think because that's Margaret Qualley in her. But either way, there's been a lot of like actor talking to the same actor movies this year, or an actor fighting themselves. Huh?
Severance.
There is an episode of Poker Face where Cynthia Erivo plays like quintuplets of herself. There's like 6 of them. So that as well. Like,
was that this year?
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's been so much of that this year. I don't know what that means.
Jupiter
but it's
and Gemini, baby.
I guess so, because like, seriously.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
And shout out to Michael B. Jordan, because I feel like he really did. I mean, he
beat the corny allegations.
Yes, he beat the corny allegations.
Can't act allegations.
Yes, he beat them.
Yes.
Because he's someone who's been working since he was a literal child. He's been around. He's been working almost all of his life, and I feel like with this movie, I feel like he's finally getting the recognition he deserves. And he did phenomenal on this movie. He really did. I was very impressed by
the muscles were also phenomenal.
The muscles were, but I'm like, the muscles are always phenomenal. I'm like, they're always on.
Yeah, but bro was.
It was different here.
It was caked up.
No, he was like, I was like, niggas about to start talking in a southern accent, or acting like they from the South. They're about to be from fucking Vermont.
Halloween's gonna be a little bit too much this year.
Oh, I'm ready for the Center's Juke joints. They're already popping up all over.
They
the
already
place.
started with the Mary and Stack cosplay.
Yeah, no, we are avoiding that. We're avoiding that one.
They already started.
I do like those like, you know, like function posters that people have made with like the Center's Juke joint. You know what I'm talking about? With those like crazy overly photoshopped pictures.
Like how they be doing
like
MLK
poster.
They got the MLK
and, like,
poster
it was
treatment.
so funny. So it was like, AI could never do this. AI could never come up with this.
Yeah. I'm like, you know, shout out to the team. Shout out to all of them. I know I just read also that like vampire films happen when there are like recessions. It's like whenever the economy dips, we get really into vampires. Yeah, you know, the whole Twilight, that's like the last time it happened was like the Twilight franchise, and that was like the housing when the housing collapsed. And like before then
we got a lot of
there was like a time in the 80s, and that was like when Reagan ruined the economy.
Is that Blade?
No, that was the 90s. Blake came out in the 90s. But yeah, it's just like the vampire movies apparently like Blackula, yes. It's like they coincide with
there was a Nosferatu in the 70s.
Yeah. They just coincide with economic declines.
What year is Bram Stoker?
That was in the 1800s, which is
I thought it was a 90s. No,
I think it's like the 18.
The Coppola one.
Oh, that one.
You talk about the Coppola.
I was
movie,
like, oh, Bram Stoker. The book was written in like the 1890s, but it was written by an Irishman. Like Bram Stoker is an Irishman, so I thought that was interesting that like the vampire in this film is Irish, because Dracula is also like Bram Stoker was an Irish reporter, and he kind of based Dracula off of like Irish folktales. So I thought it was very appropriate for Rennick to be Irish. And I know, again, like Ryan Coogler was like, yeah, I wanted a vampire that wasn't like pure evil, like, you know, someone who could hear me out type of vampire, you know, everything that like
he manipulated.
Being manipulated, yeah, like all of that. It's like
he came to them with a country accent, and he was like, "Oh, the Choctaw," and they're like using like slurs, and he was like, "Oh yeah, that. Yeah, for sure."
Yeah,
and then ate their baby. We didn't see the baby get eaten,
he ate that baby.
But that crib was not rocking.
It was not. He ate that baby.
Silent. Yes.
So yeah, I was just like, wow, like again, what a wonderfully put together movie. Yeah. Shout out to the Cougs.
Also, the Irish sentiment, it's interesting because it kind of shuts down like the Irish were slaves too, and it's like, yeah, okay.
That oppression ended for y'all a lot earlier.
It was bad. The rest of us. It was bad. It was like, it ended, and also like.
And you got your white card, so
yeah,
like you assimilated. Congrats.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it's also just like, okay, but like, you're not. That doesn't fix anything. You saying, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I feel like for some reason that movie kind of all that stuff reminded me of like all those weird little arguments about like. He's like, yeah, bro, we know, and more, and some more. You know what I mean?
I don't know why
he was saying the Lord's Prayer with Sammy. That was also one of the funniest moments of the movie.
Yes, they said it to me too.
That's exactly what I was thinking of when you was talking about it too, because it felt like for him that was the moment of like, oh, you think I'm one of them? Because I'm not.
They did the same thing.
But also, it's like
your white God will not save you in this moment.
Yeah, all that extra time to prove that you a little different got you killed too.
You know, I'm like, if any of you guys like read comics, I highly suggest Philadelphia, because it's like also kind of the same type of thing going on in Philadelphia.
For some reason, I was skeptical of Philadelphia.
Have you read it?
For some reason,
Oh,
no, I haven't read it yet.
Should definitely
because it's called Philadelphia. I'm like, is this some uppity
No.
shit?
I'm like, it's the same thing where there's like vampires in Philadelphia, and you end up finding out like the head vampire is John Adams. Like, yeah,
and
he has like
pretty
this
sick.
utopia society he's trying to create, because like fun fact John Adams like never owned slaves. He was like but he also wasn't an abolitionist. He was just like kind of in the middle. He was like, I don't think owning slaves is like the best thing, y'all. Like, I think you should pay them for their work, but also I ain't gonna say they should be free, but I won't own any myself. And so, yeah, you have the same idea of like, now you have like vampire John Adams, who is like trying to, out of spite because of Hamilton, trying to like one up all the founding fathers and like create this like utopia where he's like, everyone will be the same and everyone will be equal. But at the end of the day, it's like you were still a white man preying on poor Black people in Philadelphia. So I highly recommend Philadelphia. It's a great read. Okay. And the artwork is crazy. The artwork is crazy.
It's always on sale at Atomic City Comics.
Well, Bree, anything that you want to share as we wrap up this conversation?
I will plug my Twitter because I only have 14 followers. Sister Act 2 on. like I love to get two on. Okay. And then my Instagram and TikTok, where I don't post anything except for reposts, is at Brewitched.
All right, thank you.
And fuck David Zaslav.
Yeah.
Okay.
Imani, David, anything you want to plug?
You know, as always, follow us on Instagram at the Fade to Black Podcast. We are the Fade to Black Podcast. If you just type in Fade to Black, that's not us. That's like 3 other people and they just talking about movies, okay? But the Fade to Black Podcast for all of your Black cinema, needs. That's us. We talking about Black movies over here, for us, by us.
Fade to Black.
Fade to Black Podcast. Full name, the Fade to Black Podcast. And, let us know what you thought about this episode and Sinners, and, have a happy Halloween, I guess.
Happy Halloween.
Free Palestine.
Free Palestine. Free Sudan.
Free Sudan.
Free Congo.
Free the Congo.
Free Hawaii.
Free Hawaii, please.
Free Haiti.
Free Haiti.
Stop. Free Haiti.
Pay them what you owe.
Free Puerto Rico.
Free
West
Guam.
Africa.
Free Guam. Free the U.S. Virgin Islands. And the British Virgin
Free
Islands.
South Africa.
Let's just cut all debt. If you were ever personally victimized by an imperialist country, raise your hand. Debt free. Debt's canceled.
Oh, really? Oh, man. I got, speaking of Irish, I got some Irish in there too. So if we want to get some extra, it's even like some more back, recovery
extra
pay,
reparations.
for other. Not like extra.
I feel like that's
in addition to.
You get separate things for the separate, know.
I need my Black reparations, my indigenous reparations, my Irish reparations. Give them all.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Then yes.
And they should be just whatever the fuck I want.
At this point, yeah. As many currencies be done converted. Anyway.
Sorry. Yeah. Anyway.
Thank you for listening to this podcast.
Own
Bye,
your
America.
shit, y'all.
I don't know what's going on with y'all, but bye, America.
And the rest of the world. Goodbye to the Black diaspora.
I was talking to somebody the other day. I was like,
we're forever.
White trash is popping right now. White trash is having the time of their lives. They're running the country. They're running the media. White trash has never
They're
been
running
so...
gene campaigns.
Yikes.
Bro, I totally tapped. I can't fucking even consume that. I can't even there's so much going on. I'm like, I can't handle the eugenics gene commercial.
Yeah,
I can't.
Based on a pedophilic commercial from the 80s. Yeah, it's just all around trash.
Like I said, I can't
even.
And she's doing Lolita reenactments on Instagram as well.
What is happening?
Y'all know how Black people can never say goodbye.
White trash shit is popping. Just
yeah.
God,
I saw a tweet that was like, why does all the white pop right now sound like white Christian music?
It's coming up. It's getting popular.
Somebody said Billie Eilish said something racist too. Being out in Ireland was like, oh, I can't believe.
She was like, I'm glad to
be in a space where everybody looks like me.
Sister, you're from California.
Exactly. And she feel comfortable not there.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so yes, Black people are forever.
Right.
And
all right, her Remick ass.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Remick, sir, is it because we're...
Remick had me dying.
No, she really liked Remick too.
I believe in equality.
She'd be wearing those baggy shits and then being like, I love to see my people.
Saying that dressed like you're at the Def Jam.
Like she a member of
Yes.
It don't make sense.
No tax. Be dressed like fucking... But
Jules Santana,
like 3 6 Mafia and shit.
It don't make sense.
Make sure that in 25 years you continue to throw Sinners back on your screens in everywhere and put them dollars.
This is a Black classic. What you mean? It's forever.
Didn't they say it was coming back during Halloween?
Absolutely.
IMAX? It's
still in theaters. You can still go see it. When I pull up my AMC app, I can still go see Sinners today in theaters.
watching it on my parents' TV, the colors do not compare. It was actually it was an assault to my eyes. Just like,
yeah,
I was offended on behalf of everybody that worked on it.
It is like, damn. But all Christopher Nolan's films are about to come back to IMAX again. And if you've never seen Interstellar in IMAX, I bought
my Odyssey ticket.
You bought it? I was about to, but I was like,